Today we will be talking about the first LEGO League innovation project and how it can help build your team into problem solvers.
Hi, we're the Remote Makers. We are first Tech Challenge team from Pearland, Texas, and an alumni First LEGO League Challenge team. We won the first place Regional Champions Award 3 years in a row. We won a runner-up Champions Award at the FLL Share and Learn Virtual Open Invitational. We also advanced to the Razorback Invitational, the World Festival, and the Greece Virtual Open International. We were also selected to be a Global Innovation semifinalist last year.
A lot of teams ask, is the innovation project required? I thought this was a robotics team. Do I have to do the innovation project? The answer is yes. First LEGO League Challenge is helping to shape students into future engineers, scientists, and problem solvers. Also, students learn so much from the innovation project engineering process. The team will learn to identify problems and iterate attempts at solutions. In addition, the innovation project is a required part of competitions. It is one of the 3 judged areas. Teams will not be eligible for any awards if they do not complete the innovation project. However, the best part of the innovation project is that it's a fun way to design something to impact the world.
The innovation project has 5 required parts, which can be summed up by 4 general requirements. First, identify a problem related directly to the topic as specified in the challenge guide, and research your problem and solution ideas. This year's topic is to improve the way products are transported. We will talk more about the challenge on the next slide. Next, you must design a solution to the problem you chose. This needs to be an original solution that the kids come up with. Then, share your solution with others, and then refine and iterate it. Lastly, prepare and present a presentation to communicate your problem, your solution, and your journey. It is important to remember that these 4 parts are required for the innovation project. You will not be eligible for awards or for a ticket to another tournament unless you have a complete project with the 4 parts.
First made a project story to explain the challenge for this year. In the story, they say, as more demands are placed on transportation systems, we need to rethink how we move products from place to place. Your challenge is to improve the way products are transported. So one girl asks, how can we find ways to solve the challenge? Another girl suggests, make the product journey safer or more efficient. A boy suggests, get access to difficult destinations. Another girl suggests, have better connections between different parts of the journey. So the first girl says, great ideas, let's plan how to design our solution. A boy asks, can you help us? This challenge story is supposed to help your team to start thinking of ideas for your innovation project this year. The problem your team chooses to solve could be anything that is limiting or challenging to transporting products. You don't have to limit your team to just the ideas that they mention. The official project challenge statement is, design and create a new piece of technology, equipment, or method of transportation that could improve the journey of products. In everything your team does, remember that the kids need to do the work. Coaches are only there to help the team learn new skills, to help guide the team, and to keep the team members safe. Kids need to identify a problem in the transportation of products. Remember, the team members need to decide which problem to work on. Kids need to design a solution based on the challenge in the story that we just read. Judges do not want a project solution made by the coach or another adult. Kids' solutions can be awesome. The kids need to share their solution and refine it based on feedback. The kids need to be the ones that share the project, in person, in emails, or in letters.
If you have already registered for the season, First should be sending you a team meeting guide for the coach and 2 engineering notebooks for your team to share. First also has electronic versions of the engineering notebooks in the team meeting guide. Your coach can access and download these from the First dashboard. Being able to make more copies of the engineering notebook helps make the documentation process more inclusive, especially during the pandemic. The use of these materials is not required, but they can provide a good starting point for many teams. Especially for rookie teams, these notebooks are a great way to learn about the processes needed to design an innovative project. Teams can develop their own methods of recording their progress and structuring their meetings, depending on their limitations, needs, and abilities. You can have handwritten notes or something that is typed up more formally. The team's notebook is really for the team's use. Just do whatever works best for your team. Having outside documentation methods can help your team share their progress with each other. It can also serve as a resource for the team members to reference research and look back on previous ideas about problems or solutions.
Regardless of how you decide to document your engineering journey, most teams will use research to get started thinking about the project topic. Kids often have a background knowledge already. This season will relate to product transportation. Where and how are packages transported? What problems are faced in transporting goods? Libraries, even virtual ones, are terrific sources for beginning research. You can find sources appropriate to your team's age. You do not have to read a bunch of long and boring grown-up books on the topic. Also, look at the robot game field for additional ideas. Many of these are mentioned as project sparks that we will discuss later. There are numerous ways to research and get inspired for the innovation project. A field trip is a popular way to get excited about the project topic. Teams may meet professional resources or be inspired by sharing experiences together related to the challenge. Have your team watch for events offered locally or virtually on the internet. In past years, our team would read the local news to watch for local events, such as open houses and meetings. Now many opportunities are available online. Many groups are also making virtual tours and other virtual open houses available to the general public and school groups. Be on the lookout. Your team will learn so much and have fun.
Kids should look for and contact professional resources related to the challenge topic. Think about people in your community. You may also come across people's names in your research. Team members may already know someone that may make a good resource. The team itself should compose the emails or letters to professionals. The coach should only provide guidance and check for appropriateness. Remember, First LEGO League is about kids doing the work. Always be ready to accept that some professionals may be too busy or may not communicate back. These professionals can be very busy people. Our team has sent tons of emails and letters to professionals. Sometimes we don't hear back from people at all. Sometimes they write back and say that they don't have time to help you. Just keep looking for more potential contacts. Never give up. Once you hear back from a professional that they are able to help you, coaches may need to help with logistics and scheduling and prepare kids on etiquette. Teams should take the lead with interacting with a professional resource. Kids should make a list of questions, prepare any presentation, etc. Remember, many professional resources will have never heard of First LEGO League before. Your team should try to explain the program to them. Professional resources are to provide background information and maybe feedback on the student's proposed solution later on. Teams are not asking professionals to provide the solution themselves. Some professionals may be able to meet with you in person or virtually. Some may only be able to correspond with your team over email. Remember that professionals lead busy lives and respect their time.
The engineering notebook from First can also help your team get ideas for the project, using Spark ideas based on the robot game field kit challenges this season. There are 4 categories of Project Sparks: efficiency, safety, access, and connections. Each Project Spark has ideas for problems that could be solved and shows how they relate to the mission models on the field. The engineering notebook also includes prompts to consider the problems and solutions. Though the Project Sparks are a useful resource, your team may have their own ideas that are not in the Project Sparks. Don't be afraid to include these ideas.
After your team has completed some research, your team may have lots of ideas for a problem to solve. Keep track of all your problem ideas from everyone on your team. Then it is time for your team to narrow down your ideas to one project topic. Team members should make the final selection of the problem to focus on during their innovation project. First, discuss them together. Which ones mean the most to your team? Are some of the problems bigger obstacles to the community? Think of ways that would work for your team in deciding on the problem. Will you vote? Will you base the problem selection on a pro-con list? Etc. Make sure that your selection process is inclusive. Start narrowing down a problem, considering the problems the team has some starting ideas of how to solve. It is good to have some ideas of how your team might solve the problems before you choose the problem to focus on. Do you see a solution as attainable?
When designing a solution, remember, as in all of First LEGO League, that kids do the work. Judges are not looking for a solution developed by a coach or parents, or a solution developed by a professional resource. The goal of the innovation project is to teach kids to explore and impact the world around them. First LEGO League is looking for a solution designed by the students themselves. Also, the solution can be innovative without being complicated. Sometimes the simplest solution to a problem is the best. A lot of teams ask, what is an innovative solution? An innovative solution can be a completely new idea. It can be an improvement on an existing idea. It could also mean using an existing idea, maybe from another field, in a completely new way. As a part of your team's research what existing solutions are already available for your problem. Make sure your team's solution is different in some way. It is important to be able to explain how the team's solution is innovative.
To help discover a solution, make sure to revisit your research. Also encourage brainstorming of ideas for a chosen problem. Remember to share all of your ideas with the team. Students can sketch beginning ideas and start thinking of what it would look like. Remember, using an existing solution in a new way is acceptable too, though you still need to explain how you added value. Make sure to encourage further development of your solution with prototype drawings and/or models. Test underlying concepts to expand on your idea. Are there ways to test how feasible certain parts of your solution are? Even without building a fully functional prototype, can you test parts of how it would work? Continue research to think of other ways to improve on your solution. Go back to articles, the internet, books, and professional resources to answer any questions that you might have.
As part of refining your solution, coaches can facilitate students learning new skills. One of the best parts of First LEGO League project for our team is learning how to do new things to make our project complete. We have had so many cool experiences and have learned so many new skills. Students can work on learning relevant math, science, and engineering concepts. Coaches may be able to assist students in understanding some of these complex subjects, or may be able to help facilitate finding resources to help. Students can also work on learning methods of hands-on construction, such as cutting, sawing, drilling, painting, etc. No matter what happens, you and your team will have so much fun learning skills together. After you learned all the skills you need, you're ready to build a model or prototype. When building a model or prototype, remember that it can be miniature. For example, in the previous theme, City Shaper, if a team's project had to do with building a building, the team could model it out of popsicle sticks. It doesn't have to be life-sized. The team's model does not have to be fully functional either. For example, if your solution includes a solar panel, you do not have to build a fully functional one. Your team could use cardboard and aluminum foil to represent it in the model that you share with others and judges. Your first model may just be a detailed drawing. A next step in your development may be a model or prototype that can be made out of simple materials, such as paper or cardboard. If your team has the skills and resources to make your model or prototype more complex, that's great, but it doesn't have to be perfect.
Just like everything else, construction of the model or prototype should be student-driven, but remember that even students can build awesome things. Different schools or groups will have different facilities and equipment available to them. Students will also have different talents. Your team can only make what they are capable of, based on talents, needs, abilities, and budget. The model can start with a detailed drawing. The most important thing about building a model or prototype is safety first. Make sure that you are trained with any equipment you might be using. Make sure that you are wearing any necessary safety gear, such as safety glasses, work gloves, etc. Also, remember that you need adult supervision at all times when you are handling dangerous equipment. One purpose of the beginning model or prototype is to allow for testing of the solution idea. Another purpose of the beginning model or prototype is to explain the solution to others. The team's model or prototype can be used to share your idea with professionals. It is a lot easier to explain a concept when you can actually see it. By sharing the model or prototype with professionals, they can offer feedback to help your team to expand and improve their solution. Another purpose of the beginning model or prototype is to encourage students to think about what materials would be used if the real solution was created. Thinking about what kinds of pressure and conditions the real solution will experience will help your team shape their plan for the real one. Even if your beginning model is made out of paper, think about what materials would be best for real implementation. Knowing what the final product would look like will help those that the team shares with to understand what the solution could become. Finally, a beginning model or prototype can help students to see any limitations of the solution idea. There may be some functions of your team's original plan that would not work the way you had hoped. There may also be conditions that the team did not even consider. Having a better understanding of the team's solution will help students to expand and improve upon it.
Once you have a solution idea, you're ready to start sharing and incorporating feedback. At the very least, your team should share with family and friends. This should be very easy to do. Your family and friends will love to hear about your work. Refine your solution by incorporating feedback from professional resources and potential users of your solution. The judging rubric this season is specifically looking for teams to share with both users and professionals. The more sharing your team does, your team will have more feedback and potential revisions. Thus, the better your solution can become. Keep developing and making changes. Also, the more sharing your team does in your community, the greater impact your solution can have.
First LEGO League will be using combined judging again. Combined judging means that the team will have the same set of judges to see all of their presentations from the different areas. The innovation project will take up 10 minutes of judging time. If you look at the judging flowchart, teams will have 2 minutes to set up and introduce themselves. Then you'll present your project first to the judges, before showing your robot or discussing core values. The project presentation is timed for 5 minutes, followed by 5 minutes of questions about your project.
Teams should prepare a 5-minute presentation for judges. This presentation should show your chosen problem, solution, who you shared your project with, and what makes your solution innovative. Be sure to talk about the journey your team took to develop your innovation project. The entire team should take part in the judging session. Make sure everyone is included. When planning your presentation, incorporate your team's style. This could be a fact-centered report or a skit. It can even be a mix of both. No matter what style your team goes with, it should be engaging and informative. Lastly, kids should choose a style and plan and prepare their presentation. What works best for one team may not work for another. Choose what works best for your team. Every team's presentation method is different. Some teams are comfortable with only making an outline and ad-libbing. Some teams feel more comfortable with writing and reading a script. Some teams will be closer to having the presentation memorized. It doesn't matter which method your team uses as long as you're comfortable with it and have fun. In the case of previous years, part of the presentation could be recorded, but the majority had to be live. This may vary in your region.
Remember to bring any supporting materials to your judging session. Bring any sketch, model, or prototype to help explain your solution to the judges. Some teams will have a trifold poster or other visual aids. Although it's not required, it helps to have a board to help remember facts. Teams should not count on having any materials provided in the room. Make sure to bring what you need for your presentation. Sometimes you will have a table or chairs to use. Sometimes you won't. Sometimes there's an electrical outlet nearby. Sometimes there is not. When you practice your presentation, remember to be flexible with the way the room may be set up. In your region, you may have virtual judging. The visual aids you prepare may include slides. After your presentation, kids will have 5 minutes of questions from the judges. If the kids did the work along the way, don't worry about answering the judges' questions. Teams only need to explain their engineering journey from choosing their problem to developing their solution. Judges may ask about more clarification for something, or if they didn't understand something. Judges may also ask about your background, or process, or something that you didn't put into your presentation. Think back on how you made decisions during the season. What are ideas that didn't work, and why? Judges just want to hear how teams learned about and used the engineering design process. Document your steps and iterations along the way to help your team remember and show the judges all of your hard work.
In presenting your project, the judges are looking for teams to identify a problem. Again, make sure that your problem is related directly to the topic. Design ideas for a solution. What different ideas did you come up with? Create a solution model or drawing. What did you make to better demonstrate your problem and solution? Iterate based on feedback. What did you change after more research or contacting professionals and potential users of a solution? Communicate clearly. How well did you communicate your problem and your solution to the judges? Was it easy to understand? This is the project rubric for this year. This will be what the judges are judging you on. They will mark you as beginning, developing, accomplished, or exceeds, in which they will write how the team exceeds. Though the rubric is very similar in appearance to the one last season, it has some noticeable changes in wording. The wording for the design section and the iterate section have been changed the most, so make sure to read these sections carefully. Remember to look over the rubrics throughout the season and to check for additional project updates on the first LEGO League Challenge resource page.
Teams are encouraged to continue working on their innovation project throughout the season. If you make it from a qualifying tournament to a regional championship, keep making improvements. Even after the competition season is over for your team, you can continue your project. It can still make a difference. As time allows between competitions, share your project with more groups. These can be more professionals or specific people that may benefit from your solution. Making further improvements to your solution based on this feedback can help your team score higher on the Iterate section of the rubric. With more time, consider making secondary models or prototypes. For example, you can progress from the drawing of a plan to a cardboard model to a more functional prototype of the solution. Continuing the development of your project will help your team to continue the learning experience and impact the world.
Make sure to check out the official FIRST documents, such as the challenge overview. Also make sure to check for updates for clarification of the innovation project or robot game challenges. Try to check the challenge updates every week so you don't miss the frequent robot game clarifications or the occasional project ones. Remember, you can download an electronic version of the Engineering Design Notebook and Team Meeting Guide from First Inspire's account dashboard. Your team does need to be officially registered, and the coach will have to log in to get the documents. We hope that we've shared today how the Innovation Project is awesome. It is a great hands-on exploration of this year's topic and helps your team learn the engineering process in a fun and meaningful way. It offers a chance to make a difference with the team's design solution, but most importantly, it's fun. Thank you for watching and best of luck to your teams this season. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at themodemakers.org/contact.